Hello, Assalamu alaikum friends. Hope you all would be fine and feeling well. Today I'm going to talk about a special topic which is really important for all and especially for those students who seek admissions in different universities in Mphil as well as somewhat in PhD. But my focus would be more on Mphil admission process. So many friends they asked many students and teachers they suggested to have a video and to have a common platform in which we could discuss our problems and we can come up with remedial measures and some points through which we can make and ensure our admission in any institute for MPhil. I would like to restrict my topic especially to NUML University because I have been through that experience and I have asked many of my friends, colleagues, as well as teachers, and I gathered their experiences and I want to share them with you how to get admission in MPhil in any university and especially at NUML University. So, friends, you know that many things they matter while getting admission in MPhil at any institute. Some considerations which are really important. They are the first one you all know, which is obviously GPA, which matters almost in every field everywhere. So marks in GPA, it is observed, it is valued everywhere, and a person has to have a good GPA in order to get admission in MPhil. Normally, uh, I think in after discussion with the consultant of the department and after having discussion with teachers and experts, so 2.5 or above GPA is right for getting admission in MPhil at normal university. So GPA above it is quite fine. It is better to have good GPA, but 2.5 rather 2.3 and above, it is quite satisfactory and one can get admission easily while having this GPA. The second thing which is also very important and that is uh, GATE test, GATE general test that is normally arranged by NTS, and GATE general is also very important and its score, especially percentile, it also helps much in the admission process. GATE general has 50 passing marks, but 60 or above 60 is quite satisfactory score to have admission at NUML University and MPhil either in literature or in linguistics. The third thing is departmental GATE. Normally they take departmental GATE, which is also very important, and I will discuss it with a detail. A departmental test normally they arrange it after having taken the test GATE general. A student who has taken GATE general test and who has scored above 50 in GATE general, so he has to take departmental GATE. If one has not taken the GATE general test by NTS, so he has to take the full-fledged GATE of normal, but that is not good. I prefer to have GATE general from NTS and then to have departmental GATE test. So in departmental GATE test, normally we have two questions and they are asked to be attempted either sometime one question and sometimes two questions. So you have to attempt them in a duration of 1 hour or 1.5 hours, and I will explain it further in coming time. The next thing which is important is obviously the final thing which is interview. So after going through these steps, if one succeeds, so he will have to be an interview and some specific consideration they are sought for in an individual. So I will also discuss that what to do and how to do them, what are the best things and what are the best steps to be followed in order to go through this process. So I have interviewed my colleagues, senior and also juniors, some of the teachers, and they share their valuable words with me how to get through this process. So GPA, it really matters 2.5, 2.3 or above GPA, it is quite fine. The more you have GPA, the more you have chances to get admission in Mphil, either in linguistics or in literature. GATE test by NTS, it is arranged normally and it has 3 parts. Part of social sciences, 50 we have of English, quite bulky part. If you have full command on English or you have good command on English, so 40 or 45 plus, it is quite commendable score. So you have to be ready for that. You have to go do good preparation for GATE General, and that score really matters. Departmental GATE is also important, and it is uh, quite easy but tricky also, and I will explain it inshallah in further uh, discussion. An interview is also very important, and it matters a lot while having selection process. Normally in many cases I have seen that they call 70 80 students for interview, and just 20 25 or maximum 30 students they get education. So it means that the interview matters, and there are some parameters, there are some qualities that they are looking for. Coming to both linguistics in MPhil admission as well as in literature. So I will discuss both, and these points are needed for both literature as well as and linguistics. So both are very important, and these qualities and traits, they should be there in the admission process. Okay, the first one, which is really important while attempting your departmental GATE, is you have got GPA. Obviously, after going to BS, you will have a GPA of 2.5, 6.3, 3.5, whatever, and you would have taken GATE General Pragmatics. So these two things, they would be already there with you. But the two processes which you will take in the campus or in any department of any university, so they are departmental GATE and interview. So for departmental GATE, you must have some qualities, you must have some traits. The first one is, which is really important, that is comprehension. Normally, we do not comprehend the questions which are given there. For example, in linguistics, they give some tricky questions which need proper attention and which need proper comprehension. So before going for attempting any question or questions, one has to think carefully and one has to be very keen while attempting any question. So we must not be in rush. Rather, we must be very keen observers while attempting any question, and we must gather and collect ideas on a rough edge and drop them on the basis of importance and give them a proper slots and proper position and value and write on the basis of them. So it will really help us. It's a quite management process. You have to manage the things. It is coming later, but the basic thing is we have to comprehend the question, the demand of the question, and we have to know what the question asks. The second thing which is really important, and time and again I put emphasis on this, quality really matters. In my test, I asked the examiner, so she told that we must have quality, not quantity alone. Normally in BS or in universities or in colleges, we normally follow quantity, but quantity doesn't matter in getting NPhil admission or a PhD admission. The basic thing is to have quality, and you must write less but quality. You must be very impressionistic in your writing, in your speaking. So quality really matters, and it should not be underestimated. This is not the paper of BS or FSC to have more lines and to have more pages. No, here quality really matters. And how it comes, definitely with diction, with your selection of vocabulary, with good grammar, with good writing skills, all these things, even handwriting, it also matters while creating quality in your stuff. So we should never compromise on creating quality and coming up with qualitative stuff. The third point, which is also quite relevant with the first two, that is clarity. Clarity in thoughts should be there, and clarity while attempting question, that should be there. Normally we go for a question where we don't have any clarity. So we come up with a blend of ideas, and we come up with a mix ideas which do not direct to any direction. So we must be very clear while attempting our question, or attempting any type of question, to have excel in that. So clarity in thoughts, plus you should be clear about the question and the demand of the question, and you should give a suggestive direction to your question and answer. This is how it will really improve your comprehension skill, and it will really impress the examiner. So clarity should not be also compromised. Comprehension, quality and clarity, they are really linked, and that should be there, and normally they seek for these qualities. As far as I have interviewed and asked from them, and from experts, from teachers, so they time and again they put emphasis on these 3 4 skills. The fourth one, which is important almost in every thing, in every work, in every task, that is management. Normally we think that we have much time or we have less time, and we can do or we cannot do. That's not the case. We have to write quality thing with real clarity, having management. First we have to comprehend, then we have to come up with quality with a clear manner, having management. So we should manage the thing. First we should have keen observation on the question, then we have to look whether I have ideas about this or not, and then whether we can use our creativity or not. After that we have to manage it on the basis of importance, chronology, or some other parameter, and then we have to jot it down. So these things are really important. And the fifth one which I would like to share, that is relevant or relevancy. So relevancy should not be there. Sometimes we do not have anything in our skull, but still we try and we insert the things which are not that much relevant. So all the things, they should be very relevant, and we should not include those things which do not contribute in this process of selection. So comprehension, quality, clarity, management, and relevant, it should be there while attempting departmental gate questions, whether it is from literature or linguistics. Once you have these qualities, there would be no issue in your selection process, and you can easily make it. After that, there are, if I come toward important studies or important study stuffs, so you will come to know that which things we have to study. Normally we go through BS and we get degrees, and there is very less time to arrange and study each and everything. So what to do in the short time? How can we do many things? So after asking from teachers, after having consultation with many friends, with many experts, and especially those who made it in NUML University for Mphil in linguistics or literature, so they came up with these common points. For linguistics, I will first focus on linguistics. For linguistics, the first thing that we must study, or we should have some command on that, or we should have some study on that, that is TEFL. Teaching English as a foreign language. Obviously, we study that as a major subject, or in some institute as a minor subject. So TEFL, teaching English as a foreign language, it is very important. It tells you the pedagogy of teaching English, and it encompasses all the teaching processes, and how to teach, and you all know that this is quite comprehensive and exploring area in linguistics. So you must have a little honor of TEFL. Phonetics and phonology, or PP, should be also focused, because sometimes a question also come from this and they touch this area. So phonetics and phonology, they should be also given some consideration. We must have some know-how of this area also. Okay, the third thing is socio linguistics, and one must have some know-how of socio linguistics also. So it is also very important that we must have some understanding of socio linguistics, how language play a role in social behaviors and social standards, custom, and these things, how society is linked with language, what is the role of language in molding or creating a society. The fourth thing that should be syntax. Syntax is also very important, as well as semantics. So syntax and semantics both should be worked on, and we must have a little bit know-how of this area. The fifth thing, which is also important, critical discourse analysis, one of the rising fields in linguistics nowadays. So it should be also uh, studied, and we must have some idea about critical discourse analysis. Normally, question also come from critical discourse analysis, but in Namali Islamabad, it is normally they do not give that attention to critical discourse analysis. But at least we must have a bit idea about critical discourse analysis. The sixth one in linguistic study stuff, we have pragmatics, and pragmatics should be also given some importance. So you all know that what is pragmatics and all these things. And the seventh one, which I would recommend, that should be uh, general linguistics, or general language, grammar, and these things. So these are some of the areas in linguistics that we must study, and we must have some idea about them. We must not be expert in them, rather we must have some idea of them. So normally the questions that I picked up, past paper of 3 4 years, so most of the questions, they come from these areas. So an individual, a student, must have a little bit idea about these topics, that he may attend the topic very easily without having any problem and get through the process of admission. The next thing, important stuff for literature, if I share. So for literature test TEFL, sorry, for literature test in in Mphil at NUML University, there are also some important study areas and stuffs that we must study to make it. So in literature, we must study different genres, uh, which are really important. We must know novel genre, poetry, and novella, drama, these, and we must know the notable works of these genres. So this is also very important, that we must have the idea and the insight of different genres and their notable works, as well as notable figures, writers, and other novelists. And we must have some idea about different poets, their poetry, uh, about novels, the really impressive, important, and famous novels. And we must also know some essays and essayists. So these things, they are really important. So once you go through different genres and different things, it would really help you to know poets, novels, essays, and these things. It doesn't mean that we should sit and we should start reading all the things. No, it just means to have a little bit know of these things, about poets, about their poetry, about novels, the prominent figure in the history of English literature. And the third thing that is also very important, that is history. So all the 3 points, they are quite relevant, and we can link them. If you study different genres, so it means that you are studying history, and definitely you are studying some poets, novels, novelist, essayist, essays, and dramatist or dramas, all these things. So these are complementary to each other, and they are in relevance to each other. So we must study them step by step. So these were some of the important steps that we have to follow, and some important study stuffs that we have to go through in order to make space, in order to make room in getting admission in Mphil in any institute, and especially at NUML University. Thank you.